Welcome to Hey Las Vegas. I'm your host, Bror Fredrik, the voice of Las Vegas, bringing you all Las Vegas's latest news, updates, information, and what the actual F's. I know it's not even Christmas yet, but we do have to start discussing New Year's Eve, what's going on, what's the plans, what's the fireworks situation, and all that other good stuff. And we'll get into it right after this. And we're back. So the first thing we're going to talk about, of course, is the fireworks, because that's sort of the showcase, the piece de resistance, I believe is how you pronounce it, of New Year's Eve in Las Vegas. So this year seems like they're going all out. Last year, it was okay. Year before that, it was decent. The year before that was pretty dang good. But this year is shaping up to be pretty freaking awesome. If you've ever been to Vegas and seen the fireworks, it is pretty spectacular. Usually goes for about 8 minutes. And you might as well like, share, subscribe, and do all this stuff, because I've gone out. This is a tradition already. I've gone out every single New Year's Eve and celebrated it with all the subscribers and shown all the fireworks live since I started the channel. And this year will be no exception. So get on board and we'll do the fireworks live, just in case you're not in town, and it's awesome and we have a great time. But anyway, back to who's actually doing it this year, which kind of surprised me, because for 4th of July, it was like, kind of a snooze fest. But this year, check out the list of who is actually going to be participating in the fireworks show, which again, it's a Gucci thing. It's going to be crazy and awesome. All right, we have Aria, we have Caesar's Palace, Fontainebleau, MGM Grand, Planet Hollywood, Resorts World, The Strat, Treasure Island, and the Venetian. So basically up and down the strip. So it's gonna be pretty freaking awesome. I'm totally looking forward to that. And it lasts, like I said, it lasts about 8 minutes or so. There's various spots you can see it. If you happen to be a tourist, you're down on the strip, do your thing. I take a little more of a bird's eye view. I don't want to blow up my spot, but I do I wouldn't say the same spot every year, but within reason, I get the bird's eye view so we can see everything. But if you're down on the strip, you're in town, or you're brave enough to go down on the strip, you'll see the same. Just kind of looking up. And you know what? I'll be honest. I'm kind of glad that they're not getting down with the whole drone show thing. I mean, in one way, it can be kind of cool, but in the same way, I don't want to be hit with a freaking drone in the head, and with all the drone situations going on. I don't think we need drones in Las Vegas. Keep them on the East Coast for now. Sorry, East Coast people. But it is what it is. Now, downtown, in terms of firework, you know that the plaza does, I think it's every weekend, I think it's every weekend, every Saturday night, whatever it was. I did a video. They do a fireworks show. However, this year they're going to do the big deal fireworks show for New Year's Eve, and they're also going to do their annual New Year's Eve party. If you're into downtown, if that's your thing, go do that. We can just about see it from where we're going to be on the strip for the live, but it is pretty awesome to be downtown. The only thing I'm going to say is be careful, because it's downtown. Everyone's going to be wasted out of their minds, doing that thing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with imbibing, but just be careful. I mean, be careful on the strip too. Now, the Las Vegas Tourist Commission, of course, is saying 300,000. You know how that's the magic number. It's always, no matter what, if it's a mouse farting competition, whatever it happens to be, it's always 300,000 people, 300,000 people. I don't think so. There's rarely ever 300,000 people in town. Maybe for the Super Bowl, it came pretty close. Not saying there's going to be no one, but 300,000 is kind of a push. But that's the magic number. Their go-to number that they always use, 300,000 people in town. There's going to be a lot of people in town, don't get me wrong. And if you happen to be one of them, you're going to have a good time. I mean, it's Vegas. What's not to have a good time about fireworks and New Year's Eve in Vegas? But let me tell you a few things first. One of which is how it's going to take place. Now, the Strip is going to be closed, start shutting down about 6 o'clock, 5:30 to 6 p.m.-ish, and it's not going to reopen. So if you're driving in or you plan on driving around, or if you're a local or something like that, it's not going to reopen till 2 a.m. So if you happen to park in a casino that has, a back door, like going through the Aria and things like that, there's different ways into city center. Caesars has a back entrance, anything that's off the Strip. But I'm going to tell you, if you want to leave after the fireworks show, just hang out until 3 a.m. and do your thing, because it's going to be nutty. It'll be crazy getting out of there. I've done it. Don't want to do it again. So spend the night, do your thing, whatever you got to do to avoid that mess. And what they also say is, if you're planning to return to your hotel room between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m., make sure you have your hotel key, because they will be checking. It's not like you can randomly, run in and out of these hotels and whatnot. If you plan on, if you leave and you go back to enter, it's got to be supposedly the place that you're staying at, and you got to have your room key ready. They just don't want random people until after 1 a.m., and then things will return back to normal. I've been here off and on for close to 20 years here in Las Vegas, and I remember when they first started opening up the Strip. Then that's what they're going to do. They're going to shut down street traffic, like I said, shutting it down at approximately 6 p.m., and then they let people walk on the Las Vegas Strip. Back in the day when they first started doing it, it was freaking awesome. It was amazing. You can just walk from one end to the other, and there wasn't fences and barriers. That was kind of when people were, less reluctant to act the fool. And then one year, people got a little stupid. I mean, there was never the amount of National Guard and police and all this other stuff, which will be a heavy presence there on the Strip. We'll talk about that in a minute. People got stupid. I remember people climbing light poles and traffic lights, and they were climbing on top of the statues at Caesars, and somebody broke an arm off, and it just 1 year. I don't know what inspired the people. All it takes is one idiot to, and then all the other idiots do the Pied Piper, and they damage things. They damage some iconic things like the statues at Caesars, and then after that, the city was just not having it, and that was post whatever, you know what I'm saying, right? So then the powers that be decided we're not going to have this anymore. And with, the current temperature in, geopolitical situations, if you know what I'm saying, it became a little more structured. Now, it is definitely structured. It's not a free-for-all. Yes, people will have fun. They'll probably be drinking in the streets and all this other stuff. However, there is a huge police presence. I remember last year, I don't know if it's going to take place this year, but I remember last year, as soon as the fireworks stopped, all the law enforcement was yelling, all right, get off the street, all right, get out of, basically like shooing people off, trying to do crowd control rather than letting people enjoy it until 1, 2, 3 in the morning, being able to walk on the Strip. And I, for one, I'll digress a second. I, for one, am a proponent of eliminating, all right, don't hate me in the comments, or do, I don't care. I'm a proponent of just shutting down the Strip to vehicular traffic in general. I just think you should be able to meander up and down, maybe put a tram north and south directly in the middle. Forget about the tunnel that Elon's building. Forget about the monorail and all that other stuff. Just put one in the center that people can get off and get on as they please, and just be able to walk the entire Strip. I think that would be spectacular. Will it ever happen? Probably not, but I think it'd be cool. I mean, if you never drove on, I drive on the Las Vegas Strip like 20 times a week, so for me, it's like, whatever. I guess if you wanted to, if you had never did it before, it might be a bummer, but I just say shut the damn thing down and let people have fun. But you know what's going to happen? All the corporations will be like, let's put 92 Fat Tuesdays along the boulevard. That's what'll happen. It'll turn into retail space, but it is what it is. So back to New Year's Eve. So yeah, people were ushered. Now, a couple of tips. You will not be able to carry bottles because they don't want people, chucking bottles. Everything's going to have to be in plastic. As a matter of fact, when you leave a property, there's usually stations there. If you do have a Modelo or whatever in your hand, they won't ask you. They will have you pour it into a plastic cup before you go. Now, you could carry flasks and all that. I'm not recommending it whatsoever. I'm not telling you what to do. But backpacks are out. Hopefully wheeling around children in collapsible wheelbarrows. Oh, I can't stand that. But anyway, people do what people do. Parents do what parents do. That might be an issue because they don't want people carrying things inside bags. That kind of triggers situations, you know what I'm saying? So keep the bags small. Don't be bringing big backpacks. You might be asked to leave them behind. You might be asked to have them inspected, things like that. And I would also say don't act the fool when you go out there because, stuff happens. People will be alcohol fueled. So just go, have fun, and shall I say behave? I'm not your dad, so, you do you. But, hopefully everything goes smoothly this year. Again, watch the bags. Ladies, I would have to say it is gonna be chilly. Yes, it might not be North Dakota, Montana chilly, but it will be a little chilly. So if you're wearing your little black cocktail dress, you might get a little cold. Maybe you might want to wear some comfortable shoes if you're going to be walking up and down. And fellas, you know how to dress. I hope you do. What else do I got to tell you about? I got to tell you about all the various parties per se. I'm not going to tell you about all of them, but there's stuff going on all over town. Some of it is invite only. I don't think at the last minute you're going to be able to walk into these things, but they're having the Bash Under the Bridge at the New York. The Ghost Bar at Palms is kicking it off. Resorts World at the Gatsby Lounge is another one. The Masquerade Ball at Area 15. Of course, the Strat is doing Party at the Top, 108 floors up. All night, a night above all at the Rio on the Voodoo Lounge. It's all gonna be cool. And we also got a bunch of performers in town. Imagine Dragons. They're kind of a local favorite here. Not a big fan because they always get me with the copyright claims. Just walking by some of their music. By the time I get to the car, it's like, bam. So I'm not a huge fan. However, Creed is going to be in town. I like Creed. 50 Cent's going to be in town. Lil Wayne's going to be in town. Seth MacFarlane, I forget about him. Janet Jackson, Bruno Mars, Time of Your Life. All the DJs are all over town. LIV is kicking it off. Omnia, Jewel, XS, The Marquee, Hakkasan, Zook, all the stuff. You know the deal. And there's plenty of dining options, too, that are putting out, all sorts of spreads for New Year's Eve. Bizarre Meat, which is one of my favorite. I just put up a video yesterday about his new location over at the Crystal Shop. It's pretty freaking nice. Mon Ami Gabi is doing their thing. Miho is doing their thing. Twin Creek Steakhouse. There's just stuff to do, but you're not going to be able to just walk in there. So make sure you got a reservation and do all the stuffs. So what I do have to say is enjoy yourself. I look forward to seeing you during the live if you're not in town, because it is a blast. When the Bror Nation gets together for New Year's Eve, it's a lot of fun. You'll meet people and, through the glass, of course, but it's a great group of people, and I am proud to have my name attached to that. And I hope everyone, we were coming up to Christmas, so let's not forget about Christmas. I hope everyone has an absolutely amazing Christmas. I love Christmas. I hope you do too, because just goodwill towards men and women too. And the doggies and the reindeer and all that other stuff. So yeah, Christmas is coming. Enjoy it. Love your family. Love your friends. Have an absolute awesome time. And if anything else comes up for New Year's Eve, I'll do another video and we'll get into all that. But that is the roundup for today. I'm going to invite you to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button to get notified when I do it again, which is plus or minus 5 days a week. And I do live streaming on Friday and Saturday nights. And I got all the links below. I got everything from the software that I use to the frickin' underwear that I wear. So go down and check that out in the comments. And I do appreciate that because your support keeps the channel going. And I love you guys. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.